What's going on, YouTube? WeskerGriff coming back with a video response for my good buddy on here, Ray from Philly. He's doing a 700 subscriber contest giveaway, and what you got to do is make a video response to vote for 10 cards that we believe deserve to be in the 2018 Baseball Card Hall of Fame. So had a lot of fun compiling my list of 10 cards. Been watching a ton of video responses that you guys have recently done. I've easily watched over 20 to 25 videos of responses, and there's been a lot of staples on people's lists, and you're going to see some cards that have been on other people's lists. Tried to go outside the box a little towards the end on cards that haven't really received too many votes, so hopefully you find this list interesting. But for the cards that everyone has voted for, pretty much, I'm not really going to talk about them too much. I'm just going to show them off. So without further ado, let's get into it. First card here, obviously the holy grail of baseball card collecting, the T206 Sweet Corporal Honus Wagner. Pretty much I think everyone has voted for this card, and rightfully so. Like I said, it's the holy grail of baseball card collecting. I think there's only less than 50 of these babies in existence, and it's just a card with a ton of rich history. And a lot of guys know that history and have talked about it in other videos. So I'm just going to continue along the list here. The next one is the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. And what's interesting about this card is there's a PSA Mint 9 that has recently come up for auction. And a lot of experts and analysts are projecting it to break the T206 Honus Wagner's record and potentially sell for over $2 million. I know Snoop was doing some videos on this card, talking about the auction house that was selling it and giving us updates. So Snoop, I'm really interested to see what this card sells for. Like I said, it might break a record, and other guys have gone into talking about this card. Like I said, I'm not really going to touch too much on it. Just want to cast my vote for it since it's such a iconic card. Even though it's not even Mickey Mantle's rookie card, his rookie card's the 51 Bowman. But it just seems like the 52 Topps is the king. Next, we got the 1954 Topps Henry Aaron, also known as Hammer and Hank Aaron. He's an all-time baseball great, one of the legends of the game, and this is his rookie card. It's one of the most sought-after cards for baseball card collectors. Just a very high in-demand card, and would love to own it one day. Just a extremely awesome card. Next is a card that I had an opportunity to purchase at the 2016 National, and like a dumbass, I passed on it. The 1989 Fleer Billy Ripken with the FF error. I'm not going to say it. Obviously, you guys can see what it says right there. But just a very iconic card from Fleer. This card caused an uproar back in '89 when it was released, and caused a firestorm in the hobby. And like I said, at the 2016 National, I saw one of the dealers was selling this as a Gem Mint 10 from PSA with the new slab and everything. He wanted, I think it was like 70 or 75 bucks, and I passed on it. And now this card, I think, is commanding close to $110 to $130. So I kind of goofed on it, but hopefully one of these days I can add a Gem Mint 10 Billy Ripken to my collection, because, man, I gotta get this card. It's just an iconic card, and it's Billy Ripken, man. It's a Orioles card, so it's for the O's PC too. But just a really cool card, and I'm glad to see that it has received a lot of votes. Next is the only card on the list that I actually own. It is the 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. Star Rookie, and this card, a lot of people have talked about it. Like I said, I know I keep repeating myself with a lot of these selections, but there's not really much more I can add to the conversation. This was the first card that Upper Deck produced. It was a premium trading card, and it just jump-started the hobby for so many people, and it's easily the most iconic card from my lifetime. And I'm really glad to be able to own it. I was able to pull this card a couple months back from a couple packs of 89 Upper Deck, and it was quite a thrill to be able to pull this card, and that's going to be the PC for life right there. Next is the 1968 Topps Mets rookies of Jerry Koosman and Nolan Ryan. Funny story with this card. There's a card shop in South Jersey that had this card for sale, and it had like really rough corners, definitely tons of white on the corners, and was off-centered really badly. But the owner had a $900 price tag on it, so I thought that was pretty wicked wild that the guy wanted $900 for this card with the corners all beat to crap and way off-centered. But this is just one of those extremely iconic cards and one of the best pitchers of all time. And it's a card I would like to own eventually one of these days. It's just a really cool card and a card that has just commanded so much respect in the hobby. So it's made my list. Next is the 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson. And this was a card I didn't know too much about. I knew more about the Bowman, but a lot of people, I think Dustin Bellinger, with his video, he convinced me. He swayed my vote, so voted for the 48 Leaf Jackie Robinson. Obviously, Jackie Robinson means a lot to the game of baseball, just what he had to put up with and breaking the color barrier. And it would be crazy not to have him on the list. So, put him on there. Next, I wanted to have at least one Gowdy card on my list. So, I put the 1933 Gowdy Babe Ruth. I was debating on whether having Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig, but I decided to go with Babe Ruth since that was what the majority was going with. And, yeah, obviously the great Bambino, legend of the game. So, figure I have him on there. Now next is this card, the 1985 Topps Mark McGwire 84 USA baseball team. A lot of people, I'm surprised, did not have this card on their list, but this is a card that I remember as a young kid was just like the card to have, especially during that home run chase that was going on between McGwire and Sosa. And I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not even really a fan of Mark McGwire. I really don't care for him too much. But I just remember the absolute pandemonium that this card sent throughout the hobby back in the late 90s. I mean, at one point, I think this card raw was like pushing $300. This card was just crazy. People were like spending tons of money on this card. I doubt it sells anywhere near that. I'm sure, I'm pretty sure Nate knows all about this card. He can give you all the prices and everything. But I was really surprised that not a lot of people had this on their list. Because, like I said, this was a card back in the late 90s that was just destroying the hobby. And probably if McGwire doesn't get caught or doesn't admit to taking steroids, this card probably would have just ascended to the roof, if you think about it. But because of the PEDs, it hit the wall. But I think it's still gaining a lot of traction. I think recently it's gone up pretty considerably, and it probably, in all honesty, it'll probably only keep rising, because it's just a very iconic card, really, for the 90s and even the 80s, and yeah, it's just an important card in the hobby overall. And next is, I'm kidding, guys, but no, seriously, Shohei Ohtani is destroying baseball. He'll probably be on the list in the next 10 years. Next, the last card that I'm going to vote for is the 2011 Topps Update, Mike Trout. And I don't think nobody has voted for this card. And I can understand why nobody would vote for this card, because Mike Trout's still playing. He's still very young. But this card just keeps rising every single year. And this is the card on the list that stings the most for me, because I had several of these cards, and I don't have them anymore. A few I sent out on TTMs, a few I just gave away, and a few I sold one actually in 2012, I think, in the middle of that season for like peanuts. peanuts on the dollar. But yeah, no one has voted for this card. And like I said, who knows? Maybe in like 10 years, if Mike Trout continues doing what he's doing, this card's going to be looked at as the card from this time. And like I said, this card just keeps rising. Every single year, this card just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And it's not stopping. Trust me, monthly I look for this card to pick up because I'm just tormented by the fact that I gave away all these updates. So I'm pretty up to date on the prices for this card. So I just look all the time, and it's never going down. It's always going up, and it's just a card that I want to have. This might be the card from this era. So I think I've taken up enough of your time. I think I'm going on like 10 minutes now. I don't know who's still with me, but yeah, that's my response. Ray, I hope you enjoyed. And that's all I got for you guys. Have a great one. Take care. Peace.